So Paulie Malignaggi, not too long ago, he came out and stated that European fighters are the most dominant fighters and the best in the game right now. The black murderous row fighters' time is up. He was talking like he was related to Larry. And let's peep the scoreboard. Let's see who's been winning. Since Paulie Malignaggi is saying that the European fighters, these Ukraine fighters, they the most dominant in the game right now. Pretty much the black murderers row time is up. The coincidentalist fighters time is up. The Jack Johnsons of the world, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Muhammad Ali, the Sugar Ray Leonard, the Roy Jones, the Floyd Mayweather, the Sweet Pea, them type of fighters of the world, their time is up because now the fighters today, such as Errol Spence Crawford, he felt like they not that special, right? But let's see who's still undefeated in the game. Last time I checked, Devin Haney's still undefeated. Last time I checked, Shakur's still undefeated. Last time I checked, Errol Spence still undefeated. And the list goes on and on and on. But supposedly, Paulie Malignaggi want to claim these European fighters are the most dominant in the game. Who? Lomachenko? Who got beat up by Salido and Natio? Who? Devyachenko? Who Charlo beat with ease? You talking about Gennady Golovkin? That Canelo beat? That Devyachenko beat? We're going to talk about every single name. So let's check the scoreboard, like I said. Let's see what Paulie Malignaggi is talking about because the truth is always going to come out. And the most dangerous weapon in the world, like my man Dante always say, is a microphone and a camera. It's the worstest weapon in the world. Because if you're not consistent, if you don't tell the truth, you're going to end up contradicting yourself. And that's what happened to Paulie. Because he's speaking emotionally, not logically, not factually. AKHi speak factually. AKHi undefeated because the truth is undefeated. So let's talk about it. Now, let's start off with recently, for example, Andre Ward. Andre Ward cleaned out the Super Six when he was in favor to. Now, mind you, the Super Six was full of European fighters. Frouch, Kessler, and the list goes on. And Andre Ward didn't beat him. He didn't just beat them guys. He dominated them guys. He made them look like nobodies. Andre Ward was looking like Roy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all must have forgot because Andre Ward washed them fighters. It ain't like they were nobodies. Andre Ward made them look like nobodies. He made Frosch look like nobody. He made Kessler look like nobody. Right? They were all European. Then, of course, Gennady Golovkin came along. What happened to Gennady Golovkin? He got exposed against Daniel Jacob. He got exposed against Canelo Alvarez. He got beat up by Devyachenko. So, okay, Devyachenko came on the scene. All right, let's see what happened with Devyachenko. Charlo beat him with ease. He made it look easy. I mean, he beat Devyachenko in the inside. He was going toe-to-toe with Devyachenko. Unlike Gennady Golovkin, drama show, Mexican style, and then he went Muhammad Ali style on him and still got his ass beat. We talking about Charlo, the man that went toe-to-toe with Devyachenko and beat him at his own game. Was very composed, made him look like a nobody. When Devyachenko just beat up Gennady Golovkin worse than Canelo did. Let's keep going. Who else we got? I mean, you guys can, oh yeah, Lomachenko. We just saw what Lopez did to him, so-called the pound-for-pound king, right? We just saw Tio made him, I mean, the man known as the Matrix, he known for his angles, and he didn't even take one angle. He didn't throw one single punch or landed a single punch in the first round. Do you guys know Lomachenko landed 7 power punches the first 6 rounds? 7 for 6 rounds. So he was landing a power punch equivalence of a power punch each round. Now let that sink in. Now they want to call Rigondeaux born. What is that by Lomachenko? I ain't hear nobody call him born. I did not hear nobody call him born. You know, so who is Paulie Malignaggi talking about? Because last time I checked, the fighters on the coincidental list were dominating the game from the Jack Johnson days, and they still dominating it
to this day. To this day. Bomb Squad!
And not to forget, or not to mention, we got to mention this because they overhyped Gennady Golovkin as pound for pound #1. And we already know he got exposed. They gave him the pound for pound #1 status before he proved anything. This just like they did with Lomachenko. They did it to Chocolatito, and the same thing happened to him. As soon as he moved up in weight, boom. He lost. He got knocked out, matter of fact. And then, moving on, I remember Kovalev. When Andre Ward was trying to fight Gennady Golovkin, they were like, oh, no. Even though Gennady Golovkin was calling out Floyd Mayweather at 154, and Floyd Mayweather already moved up 5 weight divisions. He was old. But Gennady Golovkin didn't want to move up 4 pounds to fight Andre Ward when Andre Ward agreed to fight him at 164. Even Roy Jones called out Gennady Golovkin on that. My point is, you got Andre Ward. Without a question, at the time, he was pound for pound #2. He would have been pound for pound #1, but he never became pound for pound #1 till Floyd Mayweather retired, because I won't say he was under Floyd Mayweather's shadow, but he couldn't get to that pound for pound #1 status because of Floyd. Because Floyd was just, you're talking about TBE, arguably. You know what I mean? So Andre Ward was so great that he won a gold medal. Haven't lost a fight since 12 years old. The man got a broken shoulder, and he's still undefeated and haven't lost
to this day.
We talking about this guy. And Gennady Golovkin, he went from triple G to little G. That's what Andre called him. He said, you little G, man. You ain't triple G because I'm calling you out and you want to fight Lemieux. Lemieux. That's right. Now, moving forward, they told him, oh, Andre Ward. HBO told Andre Ward, listen, man. You ain't going to beat the guy we've been marketing as the next Pacquiao, so on and so forth. But Max Kellerman was like, oh, he's the hardcore fans' favorite fighter, according to Max. I don't know where he came up with that. How are you going to speak for people when you don't know what people think, right? He was claiming he was pound for pound. He was claiming that they put him, I don't got to tell you this, they put him on a list, the best 25 fighters of the past 25 years. They put Gennady Golovkin on that list when he haven't proven anything at the time. He was avoiding Lara. He was avoiding Andre Ward. He avoided Charlo. The list goes on and on. Andre, they put him on that list. Anyways, so they told Andre Ward, go ahead and move up and fight Kovalev. And what did Andre Ward do? He moved up and fought Kovalev and beat Kovalev. They said, oh, that was a close decision. Guess what? It was like, okay, bring that ass again. I'll test that ass one more time. And he knocked him out a second time when they hyped up Kovalev as pound for pound #1 or 2 at the time. And Teddy Atlas had the audacity to tell Andre Ward, after knocking out Kovalev, who was a pound for pound #2 at the time, they were hyping up Kovalev, not as much as they hyped up Lomachenko, but on that level. Credit to Kovalev, he was fighting everybody. Kovalev, truth be told, he didn't avoid nobody. And Ward knocked out Kovalev. Teddy Atlas told both Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford after he became undisputed, Lomachenko, who's 8-1, is the pound for pound #1. And they looked at him like he was crazy. He justified it by saying, according to the eye test, the matrix that looked ordinary against Tio as soon as he fought a good fighter. And keep in mind, Tio, he only had 15 fights. He only have 1 belt. He haven't defended his title not even once. This was actually his first title defense. Teddy Atlas told Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford at the time, Lomachenko, who was 8-1 at the time, who avoided the Salido rematch, he was talking about that Lomachenko, who just got beat up by Salido not too long ago, is better than Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford. Andre Ward, who cleared out the Super 6, so on and so forth. And then Paulie over here telling us European fighters are the most dominant fighters in the game. Talk about double standards in the sport and what fighters on the Coincidental deal with. This is a perfect example.
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I took up the world. I took up the world. I took up the world. I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.